Back in 1978, I had an encounter with God that changed my life. But 10 months of processing the idea that God loved me stirred me inside in deep ways, because I said, if God loves me, He should be able to love me in a way that I could feel it and experience it. And it was a challenge for me because I didn't always feel it. It was sort of more like a roller coaster ride. Like sometimes maybe I was in a good church service or had a good quiet time and I felt God's presence, but then other times it just didn't feel Him. I knew He was there, obviously, because God is God and He's always present. But I wanted to feel His love. And I wanted to feel it permanently, because that seemed like what my heart was crying out for, and it seemed like something inside would settle if that would ever happen. And so they had in 1978 this festival back in Norway where I'm from. It was called the Jesus Festival. And I was there, and it was this man named Jack Winter from America that was teaching. And he was teaching on God the Father's love. And I thought, well, that would be maybe something that I should go to, because maybe he can give me some answers to the question that I have. How can I feel God's love permanently, not just on and off, occasionally? How could something be settled inside? So that week I fasted and prayed, and I went to the meetings and the teachings, and I really got into it, and he really did some great teachings on it, but I still didn't experience it the way that I wanted. And so I decided to not go to a meeting. And I just stood in the room where we were staying, and they had all mattresses laid out on the floor, and I was laying down on the mattresses there in my sleeping bag and had my Bible open. And I opened it up to John 14, and it's that scripture that says, if you love me, then you will keep my word. And I thought, well, I'm keeping your word in the sense of holding on to it, which it says in Norwegian, hold on to His word. And so I'm holding on to the word that you are love and that you can love me and you love me all the time. I'm holding on to that. And then the rest of the verse says, and my Father, and we will come to Him, and my Father will love him. And all of a sudden there was a click inside, and it says, yes, God really loves me. And I got so excited, I got so thrilled, I had to jump out of the window because the doors were closed, and I went to where they had a meeting, and I shared with my friends, I experienced God really loves me. He really loves me. He really loves me. And people were looking at me a little strange, but my friends understood because they knew what was going on. And when we got back that night, and we laid down, all in the classroom on the mattresses in our sleeping bags, I just started to snicker and laugh. And I laughed. And I laughed. And people soon said, what's going on? And I said, God loves me. Okay? And I just would laugh with the idea because it's true, and I felt it. And some of the guys said, well, can you please laugh outside the room because we want to sleep? So I went outside of the classroom, and I started to kind of half walk fast and skip and jump. And people looked at me strange out in the hallway, so I went out in the playground area, and I just started to go back and forth and laugh and laugh and laugh because God loves me. And all these scriptures of God's love would flood my mind. And as I would think about it, the truth of it was sinking down into me. And I said, it is true, it is true. And that day, I got off the roller coaster road, the roller coaster ride, and my feet was planted firmly on the rock. And that says, I am loved by God. And since then, I've always felt loved by God. Something was settled forever internally. And I've been so grateful for that. And now, that's part of the ministry I am in. Expressing God's love to others. Because He wants all to know that they're loved.